Lena's apartment is dimly lit, the morning light barely creeping through the blinds. The room is cluttered, but not in a chaotic way. It's the kind of clutter that happens when a person has lost interest in maintaining order. Clothes are scattered on the couch, half-empty coffee mugs sit on the table, and unopened bills lie in a pile near the door. Lena, a 30-year-old woman, stands at the window staring out at the city below. Her face is expressionless, like a woman who has been worn down by the weight of life's disappointments. She's not just physically tired, her soul seems exhausted. She takes a deep breath, sighs, and turns away from the window. Another day. Same routine. Nothing ever changes. She walks over to the kitchen, grabs a cup from the counter, and pours herself a stale cup of coffee. Her movements are mechanical, as if she's going through the motions without really experiencing them. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead, creating a cold, sterile atmosphere. The office is an ocean of gray cubicles. The clacking of keyboards is the only sound, broken only by the occasional murmur of a colleague. Lena sits at her desk, her computer screen casting a pale glow on her face. Her fingers hover over the keyboard, but she doesn't type. She glances over at her coworker, Susan, who's chatting animatedly with someone nearby. Lena's eyes shift away quickly, as if she's uncomfortable with the noise of normal life around her. She shifts in her seat, glancing down at her phone. There's a text from her ex-boyfriend, Tom. Text message, "Can we talk? I miss you." Lena stares at the message for a moment, then quickly locks her phone, as if the simple act of reading it is too much to bear. Her face tightens, the pain of the breakup still lingering like an open wound. She puts her phone down and returns to her work, but it's clear her mind is somewhere else, lost in the haze of past mistakes. I'm not sure why I keep hoping for something to change. People don't change. Not really. And neither do I. Her eyes fall to the pile of unopened emails on her computer. She clicks on one. The words on the screen blur together. Lena stands in line at a small local coffee shop, waiting for her usual order. The air is thick with the smell of freshly ground coffee beans, the low hum of chatter filling the space. She's lost in thought when she notices an elderly man, Victor, struggling to balance several heavy bags. His hands tremble slightly as he shifts the bags from one hand to the other. Lena's eyes narrow for a brief moment as she watches him, an unfamiliar sense of discomfort creeping into her chest. Suddenly, without thinking, she steps forward and offers her help. "Can I help you with those?" Victor looks up, surprised by the offer. He's an older man, with sharp features softened by the passage of time. His eyes are kind, but there's a deep sadness there. "Victor, you don't have to, but I'd appreciate it. Thank you, dear." Lena takes the bags from him. The weight is heavier than she anticipated. As they walk together toward the counter, Victor speaks softly, almost as if to himself. "Victor, you know it's rare for people to help like that these days. Most would just walk right past." Lena shrugs, not knowing how to respond. The interaction is brief, awkward, but something about Victor's gratitude feels strange. Almost like he's thanking her for more than just carrying his bags. Victor looks at her with deep sincerity. "Victor, you've changed my day, you know that? You may have even changed my life." Lena, caught off guard, smiles awkwardly. She doesn't know how to respond to such a statement. "Lena, I'm just doing what anyone would do." Victor doesn't say anything more, just nods as he takes his bags back. They part ways, but something lingers in the air. "Lena, that was strange. I guess I just helped an old man with his bags. Nothing more to it, right?" But there's a tiny crack in her heart that starts to form, a seed planted in the most unexpected of places. Lena turns back to the counter to get her coffee, trying to shake off the strange feeling. But she doesn't realize that this brief interaction will set in motion a chain of events that will change her life forever. Lena is walking through the park, the late afternoon sun casting long shadows on the ground. Her pace is slow, almost deliberate, as if she's trying to outrun something she can't quite name. The memory of Victor's gratitude lingers in her mind, but she shakes it off, pushing the thought aside. As she rounds a corner, she freezes. Victor is sitting on a bench, staring at the trees. He hasn't seen her yet. Lena hesitates, unsure whether to approach him or just keep walking. The hesitation is palpable, a moment of indecision hanging in the air. But before she can decide, Victor looks up and spots her. His face brightens with a warmth that catches her off guard. "Victor, oh, there you are." Lena is taken aback. She wasn't expecting to see him again so soon. The old man's presence is unexpectedly comforting, though she can't pinpoint why. "Lena, I didn't expect to see you here." Victor chuckles softly, as if her surprise is both amusing and endearing. "Victor, I come here often. But I'm glad you're here too. There's a pause, a moment of silence where Lena shifts uncomfortably, unsure of what to say next. Lena, I just didn't expect to run into you again. Victor's eyes soften, and he studies her as if trying to figure her out. Lena looks away quickly, her gaze shifting to the ground. Victor, you helped me the other day. You have no idea how much that meant. My mother, she would have been proud of you. Lena glances up at Victor, unsure of how to respond to this sudden depth. He continues, almost as if the words are spilling out of him. Victor, your mother, she had a heart like yours. Full of kindness even when the world didn't always give it back. Lena stiffens, feeling a slight chill down her spine. She wasn't expecting this. Her mother's name, her memory, is something Lena rarely talks about. It's too painful, too raw. Lena, my mom? You knew her? Victor nods, his face becoming serious, almost reverent. He studies her for a moment as if trying to gauge whether it's the right time to say more. Victor, I knew her well. She changed my life too. Lena's heart skips a beat. She opens her mouth to ask more, but the words get stuck in her throat. Her mother, someone who's always felt like a distant, untouchable figure in Lena's life, suddenly becomes more real than ever. Victor's voice pulls her back. Victor, gently. She had a way of making people feel seen. You're like her, Lena. The words settle over Lena like a heavy blanket. She swallows hard, trying to hold back the sudden rush of emotion. Lena, softly. I don't really think I'm anything like her. Victor looks at her, his eyes full of something Lena can't quite read. He shakes his head. Victor, you are. You're just hiding it. Lena's stomach tightens, a mixture of confusion and something deeper, something vulnerable, begins to rise within her. Lena, sighing, uncomfortable. I don't know. I'm just trying to get through the day like everyone else. Victor watches her for a moment longer, his gaze steady and kind, but there's a hint of sadness in his eyes as well. Victor, softly but with intensity. Sometimes kindness is all we have to give, even when it feels small. Lena doesn't know how to respond to that. She feels something stirring inside her, something unfamiliar, something long buried. She quickly stands up, needing to move, to escape the quiet intensity of the conversation. Lena, nervously, well, I should probably get going. It was nice to see you again. Victor nods, not pressing her to stay. Victor, I'll be here. You're always welcome to talk, Lena. About anything. Lena doesn't say anything more. She turns and walks away, the weight of the moment still sitting heavily in her chest. The words, you're like her, echo in her mind, and she can't shake the feeling that something deep inside her has just shifted. At Lena's apartment, night. Later that evening, Lena is at her desk, papers scattered in front of her. She's supposed to be working, but instead, she's staring blankly at a photo of her mother. The picture is old, faded slightly with age, but Lena's mother's smile is still unmistakable, warm and full of life. Lena reaches for the photo, running her fingers over the glass, as if she could somehow touch the past. Lena, Vio. Soft, wistful. Mom always said you couldn't get too attached to people. She never explained why, but maybe she was afraid of losing them. Afraid of what it might do to her. Lena's thoughts are interrupted by the sound of a knock on her door. She looks up, startled. She hadn't been expecting anyone. She opens the door cautiously. There, on the other side, is a small, folded piece of paper. It's from Victor. She takes the note, unfolds it slowly. Note, written in neat handwriting. I know you're struggling, Lena. It's okay to let people in. You'll never regret it. But first, you have to remember the kindness that runs in your blood. Victor. Lena stares at the note for a long moment, her heart racing. A mix of emotions swirls inside her. Confusion, vulnerability, longing. Lena, Vio. Softly. Is this what it feels like, to be seen? She crumples the note in her hand for a moment, then smooths it out again, looking at the words more closely. She sighs deeply, unsure of what to make of the growing tension inside her. This was more than a random act of kindness, it's something bigger than she could have ever imagined. Lena sits on her couch, the dim light of her apartment casting shadows around her. The crumpled note from Victor rests in her hand, the words still echoing in her mind. She stares at the note, her face a mixture of confusion, frustration, and an unspoken yearning for something she can't name. The silence is overwhelming. Lena. Kindness runs in my blood? What does that even mean? My mom's been gone for years. She was all I had, and now I don't even know who she really was. Her eyes flick to a framed picture on the shelf, an old family photo of her and her mother. The image is frozen in time, but Lena feels the years between her and that version of herself. A knock at the door. The sound cuts through the silence like a blade. Lena rises slowly, hesitating. She glances at the photo, then moves toward the door. Her hand lingers on the knob for a moment before she opens it. Victor stands in the doorway, looking somewhat weary, but his gaze is steady and kind. His presence feels oddly comforting, like a reminder of something familiar yet lost. "Victor, may I come in?" Lena doesn't say anything at first. Her heart races with unease. She steps back, allowing him to enter. He takes a moment to look around the apartment, his eyes lingering on the faded photo of Lena's mother. "Victor, she would have loved this place. It's hers in a way." Lena stiffens at the mention of her mother, the words hitting her harder than expected. She swallows hard, feeling a lump rise in her throat. "Lena, why are you here, Victor?" Victor seems to weigh her question carefully before speaking. He sits down, his movements slow and deliberate. The room feels smaller, more intimate, as if the air between them has thickened with unsaid words. "Victor, I've been meaning to tell you something about your mother. Something I've kept hidden for a long time." Lena's chest tightens. She feels a wave of anxiety roll over her. Her mind races with questions, but none of them feel right to ask. "Lena, what do you mean? What could you possibly know about my mom that I don't?" Victor looks at her, his expression softening with the weight of his words. "Victor, your mother and I had a history, Lena. We were close. Very close. But life got in the way. We never got to finish what we started." Lena's heart skips a beat. The air feels heavy. She feels suddenly very small, as if the ground beneath her is shifting. She stares at Victor, unsure of whether to run or stay and listen. "Lena," voice trembling, hurt. "What are you saying? You were more than just friends?" Victor pauses, choosing his words carefully. "Victor, yes, we were in love, Lena. But we never had the chance to be together. Your mother, she had plans. Plans for you, for me. But then, she died." Lena's head spins. The room feels like it's closing in on her. She stands up abruptly, backing away from him, as if distancing herself from the weight of his revelation. "Lena, do you love my mother? And you think what? That I should just accept this?" Victor stands, slowly walking toward her. He reaches out, but Lena steps back, her hands raised in defense. "Victor, Lena, I never wanted to hurt you. I didn't mean to come here like this, but I can't stay silent anymore. Your mother, she wanted you to know. She always planned to introduce us when you were older, to show you the love she had for me. But when she passed, everything changed." Lena's breath catches in her throat. The weight of his words presses on her chest, suffocating her. Her mind races, a whirlwind of emotions and thoughts she can't control. Betrayal, confusion, grief, everything swirls into one overwhelming wave. "Lena," whispering, devastated. "Why didn't she tell me? Why didn't she tell me any of this?" Victor looks at her, his eyes full of sorrow. "Victor, I don't know. Maybe she was protecting you. Maybe she thought it was too much, too soon. But I believe she always intended for you to know. For you to understand why I'm here." Lena's hands tremble. She doesn't know how to process the overwhelming flood of emotions coursing through her. She feels exposed, vulnerable, like all the walls she's built to protect herself are crumbling. "Lena, so what? You think you can just waltz into my life and tell me everything I thought I knew about my mother was wrong?" Victor steps closer, his tone gentle but insistent. "Victor," softly, earnestly, "I'm not trying to replace her, Lena. I'm trying to help you understand her better. You have her spirit. You don't even realize it. The kindness, the love she showed, it's inside of you." Lena's chest tightens. The pain of losing her mother all over again feels unbearable. She grips the edge of the table, her knuckles white. "Lena, I don't know who I am without her. She's all I had. And now everything feels like a lie." Victor watches her carefully, his face filled with deep empathy. He steps back, giving her space to breathe, to absorb the weight of what he said. The silence between them is thick, but it's not uncomfortable, just heavy with the rawness of the moment. "Victor, it's okay to feel lost, Lena. It's okay to be angry. But you don't have to carry this alone. You don't have to be afraid of what's next." Lena doesn't respond. She's too overwhelmed, her mind racing with 1,000 thoughts. But underneath it all, there's a small seed of something new. A tiny spark of hope that maybe, just maybe, Victor isn't the enemy here. Lena stands in the park the next day, staring at the spot where she first helped Victor. The sun shines brightly, casting long shadows on the ground. It's a quiet day, but Lena's thoughts are anything but quiet. She walks slowly, her footsteps heavy. Her mind drifts to her mother, to Victor's words. The kindness that runs in her blood. Lena's heart aches, but something else stirs beneath the pain. A longing to connect, to understand who her mother really was, and who she is becoming in the aftermath. Lena. Maybe I've been running from the wrong things. From love. From loss. From everything that makes me feel real. She looks around the park. People are laughing, talking, living their lives without a care. It feels distant, like a world she doesn't belong to. But she's not sure if it's because of her grief or something else. She pulls out her phone, staring at it for a moment. Then, with a deep breath, she dials Victor's number. Lena. Softly, almost to herself. Maybe it's time to listen. Lena sits on the edge of her couch, her hands gripping a photo album. She flips through the pages slowly, each image a silent testament to a life she's tried to forget. Her mother's face beams from the pictures, always surrounded by love and warmth. Lena's chest tightens as she gazes at each snapshot, the memories flooding back. She lingers on a photo of her mother, younger, standing with Victor at a picnic, their smiles wide, their eyes full of life. Lena's breath catches in her throat. Lena. I never knew this side of her. Was she hiding this from me? Or did she just never have the chance to tell me? Lena's fingers trace the edges of the photo, her touch gentle, almost reverent. Her mind races, torn between feelings of betrayal and an overwhelming desire to understand the woman her mother had been. Lena. She was so full of love. And I never knew how much of that love I needed until it was gone. The album closes with a soft thud, and Lena places it on the coffee table. She stands up and walks to the window, gazing out into the darkened city. The weight of the past presses on her, but there's something else now, an opening, a softening. Her phone vibrates. It's a message from Victor. Text message. I know this isn't easy, Lena, but when you're ready, I'll be here. Lena stares at the message for a long time, the words like a lifeline she's reluctant to grab. Her fingers hover over the phone, unsure. But after a moment, she takes a deep breath and types a response. Text message. I'm ready to listen. She hits send. XD graveyard day. The wind is crisp, the sky a soft gray as Lena walks through the cemetery. The place is peaceful, silent, except for the distant rustling of leaves. Her heart pounds in her chest, each step feeling heavier than the last. She stops in front of a gravestone, her mother's grave. The stone is simple, unassuming, with just her mother's name, the dates of her birth and death, and a small inscription, "In her love we find our way." Lena stands in front of it, a flood of emotion welling up inside her. She's tried to avoid this moment for so long. The grief of her mother's sudden death had left her paralyzed, unable to move forward, unable to let go. But today something is different. Lena. I never really let you go, did I, Mom? I never allowed myself to mourn you properly. To understand the love you gave, the love I needed to carry with me. Lena kneels in front of the grave, her breath shaky, her hands trembling as she presses them to the earth. She closes her eyes, letting the quiet fill her, the silence between them louder than any words. Lena. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry I pushed you away, that I never truly understood you. I was so caught up in my own pain, I couldn't see all that you were giving me. The words spill out like a dam breaking. Lena. I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't want to carry this anger, this loneliness. I want to remember you for everything you were. I want to be like you. Kind. Loving. Giving. Tears fall freely now, the release cathartic and raw. She takes a deep breath, letting the weight of the moment settle inside her. Lena. Maybe I can start living for the love you showed me. Even if it's hard. Even if it hurts. I think I can do that. Lena wipes her eyes, stands up, and looks at the grave one last time. Her expression softens. There is a quiet peace in her now. Coffee shop day. Lena sits at a table by the window, her hands wrapped around a cup of coffee. The sun streams through the glass, casting warm light across the room. She looks out at the bustling street, but her mind is far away. The door opens and Victor walks in. His gaze immediately finds hers, and for the first time, Lena sees him not as a stranger, but as a piece of the puzzle she's been trying to solve. Victor sits across from her, his expression warm but patient. They don't speak for a moment, just sharing the quiet, knowing that something has shifted between them. Finally, Lena speaks. Lena. I've been thinking a lot about everything you said. About my mom. And about what you and I could be. Victor doesn't interrupt. He listens, his eyes full of understanding. Lena. I spent so much time being angry and confused, holding on to pain I didn't need to carry. But I'm ready to try and understand. To accept that the love my mom gave wasn't just for her, it was for me too. And I think, maybe I can share that with you. Victor's face softens, a sense of relief passing over him. He reaches out, placing his hand on the table, close but not pushing. It's an invitation, not an expectation. Victor, I never wanted to replace her, Lena. I just wanted to show you the love she had for me, and for you. Lena nods, her heart swelling with something she's only now beginning to understand. The walls she's built up around herself, the walls that were once so high and strong, are slowly crumbling. It's not easy, but it's the beginning of something new. Lena, I know. And I'm ready to let that love in. They sit together in the quiet, both of them changed, both of them healing. Park day. Lena walks through the park, the sun shining brightly. She's not rushing today. She's not running away from anything. She's walking with purpose now, with peace in her heart. She spots Mia, the young woman Victor had introduced her to, sitting on a bench. Mia waves at her, a smile lighting up her face. Lena smiles back, a genuine, unburdened smile. As she walks toward her, she feels a sense of connection she's never known before. These people, Victor, Mia, they're not just reminders of her past. They are part of her future now. Lena, it's funny. I thought I was alone for so long. But maybe I just needed to stop running from the people who cared. Maybe I needed to learn that love, real love, is something you give freely. And sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is the courage to accept it. Lena sits next to Mia, and the two women begin talking, laughing, sharing stories. It's a small moment, but for Lena, it's a huge step forward. Lena stands in front of a newly built community center. The sign out front reads, the Emma Riley Memorial Center, a place for healing. She takes a deep breath, her heart full as she surveys the work that's been put into this place, this tribute to her mother's legacy. Victor and Mia walk up behind her, both smiling proudly. Lena turns to them, her eyes full of gratitude and determination. Lena, this is just the beginning, isn't it? Victor nods, his expression warm. Victor, it's just the beginning. The kindness, the love, it never ends. It just keeps spreading. Lena looks around at the people entering the center, their faces full of hope. She feels a sense of fulfillment she's never known before. Lena, kindness isn't just something you give. It's something you live. And today I'm ready to live it. The sun is shining brightly over the new Emma Riley Memorial Center, a beacon of hope in the neighborhood. The building is welcoming, with wide windows that invite sunlight into the space. People of all ages move in and out of the center, their faces filled with hope and purpose. Lena stands outside the building, watching with quiet satisfaction. There's a sense of pride in her posture, a strength in the way she holds herself. She's no longer the woman who was afraid of emotional connections, the woman who carried the weight of her past like a burden. She's something new, something lighter. Victor and Mia approach from behind, and Lena turns to them with a soft smile. Lena, I never thought I'd get here. But this place, it's more than just a building. It's everything I've been looking for. Victor smiles, his eyes soft with pride. Mia, standing beside him, nods in agreement. Victor, your mother would be proud. And I'm proud of you, Lena. Lena, I couldn't have done it without you both. I've learned so much about kindness, about love, about myself. Lena takes a deep breath, glancing back at the building as more people enter. She's watching the ripple effect of everything she's gone through, the way each person here represents another part of her journey. A small gesture, a random act of kindness has led to this moment. It's overwhelming, but in the best way possible. Lena, I used to think I was alone in this world. But I see now that even the smallest acts can change everything. They have the power to heal, to transform. Lena looks over at Victor and Mia, her face full of gratitude. Lena, I guess I'm finally learning that sometimes the most unexpected moments are the ones that change your life forever. Victor chuckles softly, nodding in agreement. They share a quiet, meaningful look. Victor, life is full of surprises. But the greatest surprise is when you realize that the love you've been seeking is already inside you. It just needs to be uncovered. Lena turns back toward the center, her heart swelling with warmth. She watches a mother and her young child walk into the building, smiling as they head toward a group therapy session. The connection between them feels deep, unspoken, a quiet understanding that this place, this moment, is the beginning of something healing. Lena, I never thought I would be the one to carry my mother's legacy, but now, I see it. I see it in everything I do, in every person I meet. She walks toward the entrance of the community center, her footsteps confident, each one grounded in the truth she's discovered. There is no more running. She's found peace in herself, and now she's ready to help others do the same. Lena walks through the center, now full of activity. People are sitting in groups, engaging in therapy sessions. Others are in a quiet room, writing in journals, and some are gathered in the kitchen, preparing meals for a community event. The buzz of hope and connection fills the air. Lena walks toward a bulletin board, where flyers and information on upcoming events are posted. She stops in front of a flyer about a new support group for people dealing with grief. Her mother's name, Emma Riley, is written in bold letters at the top. She smiles softly, a tear slipping down her cheek. The grief that once felt so overwhelming now feels like a part of her healing. Lena. Grief doesn't disappear. But it doesn't have to define you. It becomes part of who you are. And the love you have for the people you've lost, that never goes away. Lena walks over to the front desk where MIA is helping a new group of volunteers. Mia looks up and sees Lena, a bright smile lighting up her face. Lena look. The first group's arriving for the grief support session. Lena looks around at the people filling the space with their energy, their hope. It's a tangible feeling, one she hasn't experienced in years. Lena. I never thought I'd feel this, alive. She stands with Mia for a moment, watching the people fill the room, taking in the sense of community forming around them. Lena. This is what I've been searching for all along. Connection. Healing. Purpose. It's not about running from the past anymore. It's about embracing it and letting it shape the future. Later that afternoon, Lena stands at the front of the community center, watching as people enter and exit, their faces bright with new possibilities. The door opens and Tom, her ex-boyfriend, walks in. He looks around the space, then spots Lena. He pauses for a moment before walking toward her. Lena feels a flutter of surprise in her chest, but she doesn't shy away. She's not the same person who once feared rejection, who once ran from uncomfortable situations. She faces him with a calm that surprises even herself. Tom. I've been thinking a lot about everything. I'm sorry, Lena, for how things ended. Lena looks at him for a long moment, her expression softening. She knows she's no longer holding on to the past, no longer holding on to the bitterness that once defined their relationship. Lena. It's okay, Tom. I'm sorry too. For everything we left unsaid. Tom looks at her, a mix of relief and gratitude on his face. The tension that once hung between them seems to dissolve, like fog lifting in the morning sun. Tom. I'm glad to see you're doing well. Lena nods, offering him a small, genuine smile. She's no longer the woman he once knew, but she can see the mutual respect between them, something they hadn't shared in the past. Lena. I'm glad to. Thank you for reaching out. I think we both needed to heal in our own way. The center is now quieter, the events for the day winding down. Lena walks into one of the quieter rooms, a small sanctuary for reflection and calm. She sits by the window looking out at the city, now bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun. There's a deep peace in her. The loneliness, the isolation that once defined her life, no longer exists. It has been replaced with a profound sense of connection, not just to the people around her, but to herself. She stands up, walking toward the center's mission board. The words on the wall are simple, but they speak volumes. Kindness is the key to healing. Lena. Kindness isn't just something you do. It's something you live. And the more you give, the more you receive. Lena steps back from the board, taking one last look around the center. She takes a deep breath, feeling the weight of her journey lift from her shoulders. The past is still there, but it no longer defines her. She is defined by the love she's learned to embrace, by the kindness she now carries. Lena. I don't need to search anymore. I found my purpose. She turns, walking out of the room with a quiet confidence, ready for whatever comes next. The camera pulls back as Lena walks out of the building. The light from the community center spills out into the street, a beacon in the night. Lena steps into the world outside, her heart full, her path clear. Lena. It all started with one small act of kindness. And now, I'm part of something bigger, something meaningful. As Lena walks off into the night, the sound of the city hums around her, but there's a quiet stillness within her now, a sense of belonging, of peace. Lena walks out of the building, her eyes soft but resolute, the hum of the city surrounding her. There's a sense of calm in her steps, like the world is still, but she's finally moving in harmony with it. As she walks down the quiet street, the weight of her journey, her healing, her connection to her mother, her forgiveness, feels like a quiet strength inside her. She pauses at the corner of the block, looking up at the stars above, the city lights flickering beneath her. The peacefulness in her chest contrasts with the noise of the world around her. For the first time in years, she feels truly connected, to herself, to the people around her, and to the memory of her mother. Lena. When I first started, I thought I was just doing the right thing. I thought helping someone, even in the smallest way, couldn't change anything. But I was wrong. It changed everything. It changed me. Lena smiles to herself, standing still for a moment as the city rushes by. She watches people walking home, laughing, living, and for the first time she feels like part of it all. Not an outsider, but someone who has found her place. She starts walking again, her pace steady, no longer hurried or unsure. Lena arrives at her favorite little cafe on the corner, the one she's frequented for years. The warm, golden light from the windows spills out onto the sidewalk. She pauses at the door for a moment, as if reflecting on how much has changed since the last time she was here. When she sat alone, when she buried herself in her work and her grief. As she walks in, Susan, her co-worker from the office, looks up from a table in the corner and waves. Lena smiles and waves back. Susan gestures for her to join her. Lena walks over, her steps light, the tension that once existed between them gone. As she sits down across from Susan, a warm, easy conversation flows between them. Susan, you look different. Happier. Lena nods, a quiet pride in her eyes. Lena, I am. I've been learning how to be okay with who I am. To stop running from the things that hurt and let them make me stronger. Susan looks at her thoughtfully, nodding in understanding. Susan, that's really good to hear. I know we don't talk much about personal stuff at work, but I've always admired you, Lena. You've got something about you, a quiet strength even when you didn't know it. Lena's smile widens, grateful for the honesty in Susan's words. Lena, I'm just starting to see that in myself too. They sit in comfortable silence for a moment, sipping their drinks. Lena feels a warmth in her chest, the kind that comes with knowing she has a place in this world, not just in the rush of her job or the busyness of life, but in the moments that matter. Lena, maybe that's what it all boils down to, letting yourself be seen, letting yourself connect. The right people will always find you, and the kindness you give will circle back to you tenfold. The community center is busy again, the air filled with activity. People are chatting, laughing, some quietly working on their projects. Lena walks into the room, now an integral part of the center. She's not just a participant in the healing process, she's leading it. Today, she's hosting a workshop on finding strength through kindness, her mother's legacy, her own journey, and the healing power of sharing love with others. Lena stands at the front, addressing a group of volunteers and new members. Her voice is calm but strong, each word purposeful, each sentence imbued with the wisdom she's gained. She's no longer the woman uncertain of her place. She is the woman who has found her purpose. Lena, kindness is not just a one-time act. It's a lifestyle. It's the way we show up for each other, the way we listen, the way we care, even when it feels hard. Every small gesture builds something bigger. It changes lives, and that includes your own. The group listens, hanging on every word. Lena's eyes sweep across the room, meeting the gazes of the people she's come to know. Mia, Victor, and even new faces who have just entered their circle. The connection between them is tangible, a community built on love, respect, and shared experiences. Victor stands in the back, watching her with pride. He nods gently, silently affirming the power of the transformation he's witnessed in her. Lena finishes her talk and the room breaks into applause. She smiles, humbled but not surprised by the warmth she feels in this moment. This is where she belongs, not as someone seeking approval, but as someone who has found peace and is sharing that peace with others. The day ends and Lena steps outside, watching the sun dip low in the sky, casting golden light across the street. She feels the cool breeze on her face, the weight of the past gently lifting as she moves forward. Victor catches up to her, his footsteps light. He doesn't need to say anything, they've both come a long way. They stand in comfortable silence for a moment, looking out at the horizon. Victor, you've done it, Lena. You've made something beautiful out of all the pain. Lena nods, her heart full but not heavy. Lena, we've all made it. And we're still making it. Together. She turns to Victor, offering him a smile full of gratitude. Lena, there's no end to this journey. Healing is not something you reach, it's something you live, day by day. Every step forward is a step toward the light, toward love, toward connection. Lena takes a deep breath, her eyes closing for a moment as she soaks in the stillness. This is what she's been searching for. Lena, the smallest acts, the deepest kindness, are the threads that weave us together. They may start as simple gestures, but they turn into something much bigger, something life-changing. Lena walks forward, her pace steady, her heart open. She's no longer the woman who was hiding from the world. She's the woman who's ready to embrace it, with kindness, with love, and with an unwavering belief that every person, no matter how lost they may feel, has the power to change the world. Lena. And maybe that's the most beautiful part, the idea that every day is a chance to make a difference, to heal, to love. The camera pulls back as Lena walks toward the sunset, the community center glowing warmly behind her. The ripples of kindness she set in motion continue to spread, one person at a time.